How are you? Welcome back to Kimmock 7 Autism Vlog. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Chad. I'm the father of a 22-year-old boy with autism. If you are old, thank you for joining Kimmock 7 again and again and again. We're going to talk about a couple different subjects here today. Breaking autism news that you can easily find on Google. One story of a mother that is loading up on flaming hot snacks for her autistic son. I'm going to talk about that because this definitely touches a nerve with me because of Chase's, I don't know if I'd call it addiction to Flamin' Hots, but they're just not good. They're really not good. And then another story of a parent in, I think, Boston who is having success with THC cannabis products, THC oil, for her severe son with severe autism. So let's jump right in. Before I do, sorry for the hiatus for the last week and a half. We were out in Utah, my wife and I, Carmen, apartment shopping for a second home in Salt Lake City, and the people there could not have been nicer. Just amazing. And then we were adventured down to Zion National Park, an incredible, beautiful park. First time I was ever there. And we made it out to Park City as well. We did not ski, but I cannot talk enough about northern Utah and southern Utah. Just incredible places. And we hope someday that we have a second home out there. So let's jump into the autism news here. I think you'll find this very interesting. The first story here is, well, just play it here. Let's check it out. Let's get the sound on first, right?
Parents have been turning to an alternative.
Here it comes. Any day now. So this is a subject that I had just talked about recently.
Families with children who have severe autism, finding a treatment plan can be daunting and often a very delicate process.
But in recent years, some parents have been turning to an alternative, cannabis. As WBZ's Lisa Hughes shows us, while controversial, doctors and parents say that you cannot argue with the results.
I love you.
3 years ago, this loving moment between a mother and her son might have been impossible.
His behaviors were just taking over his life.
Elizabeth Lane Morse of Marlboro says when Mark was 6, his actions, because of severe autism, were out of control.
Was, breaking TVs left and right, putting his head through iPads.
And then came the breaking point.
Mark put his head through a fish tank. I'm talking like, half-inch thick tempered glass. There was just water pouring out, and there was fish just flowing and flopping all over the ground. It was a horrifying scene.
Therapy and medication weren't working. That's when Elizabeth found cannabis and gave it to Mark in droplets.
High five. Awesome. Within 10 days of starting cannabis therapy, Mark became verbal.
Those first words helped overcome a fear of going to bed.
And he was able to tell me, he said, "It's too dark in here. I'm scared."
And that led to other breakthroughs.
To wait 6 years to tell to hear your son say, "I love you, Mom," was just, it was something I always knew. I knew that he loved me. But to hear him say it was, it was great. It was a great feeling.
Mark's doctor, Benjamin Kaplan, is one of only a handful of doctors who can prescribe cannabis to children in Massachusetts.
And these children are in there. It's not like they're, not human, but they can't express themselves.
Dr. Kaplan says the stigma surrounding cannabis as a medical treatment goes back decades.
It's been pulled from the education system. So doctors aren't taught about cannabis. They don't know how to use it.
Most prescriptions are a mix of the cannabinoids THC and CBD, and unlike other medicines, are all natural.
We can change their neurochemistry, the chemistry in their brain, so that they feel and communicate a little bit more like people who aren't suffering with autism spectrum.
But to make real progress, Kaplan says the negativity toward cannabis has to end.
Is your child on Zoloft? Is your child on Adderall? Are we not calling those drugs? I think the judgment is in the eye of the beholder.
Elizabeth says the results she's seen are life-changing.
We do what works for our family. You know, nobody really knows his story, and nobody knows the challenges and the battles that we've been through.
Dr. Kaplan recently co-founded a telemedicine platform called EO Care. The doctor believes it will improve communication between families and their doctors. And
so I hope you enjoyed that story. I find it very interesting, and I was just talking about CBD products in another vlog recently. We never tried anything experimental with Chase. Nothing. No medications, no CBD, no THC, nothing. I'd say the only thing I could think of would just be gluten, casein-free diet, which I don't think that would be referred to as an experiment. So I think to each his own with this type of subject. If, you know, like they said in the video, this is whatever's right for your family. There's a fine line between experimenting on your son or daughter and potentially giving them a life-changing compound. I'm not going to call THC or CBD a drug. I think of it as a natural living plant that has an amazing effect on the body. So if you've been following me over the past couple months, I am using CBD products for sleep aid. I have some CBD bath bombs right here from my friends at Premium Jane. And I think this video is great because you could see the son happier. He went from verbal to nonverbal. I went from nonverbal to verbal. And I don't know, you know, if your son is destroying the house every day, every week, you know, it may be worth experimenting, trying something out. The only thing I caution with it, and I've said it to other parents, is that I believe when you start on something, you have to have a beginning and an end. I don't necessarily believe that something can be forever. So if theoretically, if you were to start your son or daughter on CBD gummies or THC oil tinctures, well, how long do you plan on doing that? You know, it becomes the golden question. So this topic came up today in a message too. I get a lot of messages from parents, and this parent had simply asked me, talking about CBD, hello, how does this help people with autism? My response was, and this is specific to CBD, this has nothing to do with THC. And my response was, if you're referring to CBD, it calms the mind and central nervous system naturally. This often helps the person with autism focus better, have greater attention span to a task. It may also boost a feeling of happiness and relaxation, leading to less stimming and less compulsive behaviors or less violent behaviors. Some parents use it to help or prevent meltdowns. There are even reports of nonverbal autistic suddenly speaking after using CBD. Give it a try. It's an all-natural. Start out slow with oil or gummies you can purchase here. So if you'd like to contribute to this story, I'd love to get your comments below. If you've tried it for your son or daughter, or if you have anything that you'd like to contribute on there. I'm going to jump to our next story. This is from the BBC. A shop worker answers a mother's plea for saving all the crisp plea. I don't know why they keep using the word crisp in here, but what they're referring to, if you see this photo here, are flaming hot Doritos. Flaming hot Doritos, dozens and dozens and dozens of bags that the store and the mother have brought home to their autistic son. This really disturbs me, and I'm going to give you a couple reasons why. But to read this, Mrs. Craven said the crisps were her 11-year-old son Oliver's comfort food. That's a real problem. And were often all he would eat, which is another serious problem. This comfort food and all he is going to make his autism much worse. You've heard it from me. You can read about it online. I'm going to talk about it here briefly. I'm going to show you another page. But if there's anything you want to do to make your child's autism worse and more severe and have stomach pains and constipation and meltdowns, this is a good way to do it. Now, if you're doing this every once in a while, maybe the child is only having this snack, I don't know, once a month or something, then okay, fine. But to fill the household with flaming bags, hots of Doritos, it's really disturbing to me. And this kind of goes on and on. So why is it disturbing? Well, You can read anything about this, some of the worst junk food for your kids. The number one thing that you'll find if you search online for this is Flaming Hot Cheetos, and one and the same ingredients that you find in Flaming Hot Doritos or Flaming Hot Lays or chips. There literally is a component in here that boosts opiate levels and endorphins in the brain, and there's a reason why the child will want to stim and be compulsive in eating those bags. The chemical is capsaicin. It releases different opiates from the brain, and literally these kids can get addicted to these bags. And to see this mother thanking this store for saving her these bags, I'm like, what? You gotta be kidding. And then the article doesn't mention any negatives of anything I just said. It just says, oh, this store did a great thing. It's kind of a feel-good story, but this feel-good story is a horrible story, and that's the point of why I bring it up. Hey, I hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. I'm going to be vlogging again, hopefully about every other day throughout March, April, into May. Different topics, mostly on autism, but my life and lifestyle and life happenings as well. Hope you and your family having a great 2022 so far. Please check out some of my other videos. I've put up about 20 to 30 mostly autism-related vlogs since early February, and I think you'll really, really like them. Thank you for watching. This has been Kimok7 for Kimok7 Autism Vlog.